Hello everybody, it's Carl here, and well, it's been a year since I picked up my Tesla Model 3 SR Plus. Exactly a year today, June the 28th. I went to Tesla Leeds and picked it up. And I know I've not done a video for a long time, but one of the reasons is there's not really been very much to report. The car's behaved almost faultlessly, not completely, but almost. Never needed any servicing. A couple of little software glitches. A couple of times the car needed the key card to unlock. You get these black like credit card things. You can use it to unlock if the app doesn't work. Most times I've had a problem just if you hold the two buttons down on the steering wheel. Effectively, it's like switching it off and on again. And it's been fine. Drives fantastically. Efficiency has been very good. Obviously a lot better in the summer than it is in the winter, but generally really happy with it. So I don't really know what this video is supposed to tell you. It's just basically a little catch up, see what I've been doing, what I've been doing with the car. Hope you're all okay. Obviously we're going through some pretty difficult times at the moment, but I want to make sure that I express my hope that you're all okay. So a few things I wanted to talk about. First of all, the efficiency. I think probably Tesla have got the most efficient motors out there. Best use of their batteries. I compare it, my brother's got an iPace, my friend's just buying an e-tron, he's also planning on getting a Taycan as well. But when you compare any Tesla against those, it shows that Tesla's 10 years in the marketplace have given them a certain advantage. The other advantage they've got, and one thing that really puts me off buying anything else, although I think there are brilliant cars coming along, is the supercharger network. It's one of those things that you might never use it, but when you do, if you've used any other electric vehicle, you will realise just how good the supercharger network is. If you've never used another electric vehicle, the supercharger network is what charging should be like. You roll up, you reverse into the parking spot, you get what looks like a petrol pump out, stick it in the back of your car just like you would do at home, and that's it. No apps to go through, no registration, no messing about, pressing buttons, no credit card to enter, anything like that. I've been multiple times, I live in Lincoln, and it's 289 miles round trip to London. I've done that multiple times in a day and back. Never had any problems at all. I've had to start. I've done this during lockdown as well. I've had to make trips during lockdown. So obviously I've not wanted to see anybody else. I've not been able to use public transport. Straight there, straight back. Stopped at Grantham on the way back. Stopped at the services on the M11 on the way down, which I've forgotten the name. I think it's Birchanger. Go in, use the bathroom, get yourself a drink in the shop and come straight out again. And after, have a leisurely few minutes doing that, don't rush anything, and by the time you go back to the car, you've got enough miles to keep going again. And because if you use a referral code, like lots of you have used my referral code, and I'm very grateful for that, it doesn't even cost you anything. I mean, if you use a referral code, which you must if you buy a Tesla, just do it. You'll get 1,000 free miles. So, you can easily make, 3 of these trips at least without having to worry about charging. Okay, I'm just going to do something here. So, the other thing that we've had is continuous upgrades. Keep getting a software upgrade. My first one, I got the day I got the car. The second one wasn't for weeks, and if not months, and in fact other people were getting their upgrade, software update, comes over Wi-Fi, and I was thinking, why am I not getting it? It came eventually, and to be honest, most of the time you don't even notice the difference. There's a few little things that are slightly different, and sometimes they're useful, and sometimes they're probably more useful for other people than you. But to be honest, not a big deal. Now, if I get a software update, I'm fine. If other people say they've got it, I don't really care. I'm quite happy to wait. It comes when it comes. There's not been anything major, I would say, in the software updates that make it to the point where I'm thinking, oh my God, I really need this software update. But on the other hand, it just shows how far Tesla are ahead of everybody else, that they can offer this and nobody else does. Okay, sorry, looking around again. So what's happened in the last year? Well, apart from the obvious things like, what's it called? Coronavirus, okay, which has just been horrendous. Horrendous for people who've got it, horrendous for their families, horrendous for the people the key workers, people who work in the NHS and any important industry, and people in retail. Of course, loads of businesses have had to close, including my own business. And luckily, we've survived this shutdown period. But yeah, it's been pretty horrible. But in terms of cars, obviously, probably the biggest announcements in Tesla world since since I got this car anyway in the last year has been the Cybertruck. Now I saw the Cybertruck and I thought, well, that just looks daft. And then I saw the price of the Cybertruck and then I thought, that's really, really cheap. I mean, they're saying $40,000. In reality, it'll be more like $50,000. I would have thought when it comes out. But it's still an incredible amount of car for the money. It seems impractical for UK roads. I did put a deposit down, well, not on deposit, like an order reservation down on one, but I doubt if I'll ever get it. But if it encourages them to build more cars, and it's had, I don't know, 500,000 reservations or something, then it seems like a good thing. Shaken up the market somewhat. Other significant EVs over the last year, the Porsche Taycan, however you pronounce it. I actually managed to get to sit in one soon after the release. I've not had a drive in it yet. Really nice interior, fairly predictable, lots of buttons, lots of screens, lots and lots of stuff. I think a lot of people are still in this idea that if you have lots of buttons, then it's better. One thing Tesla has shown me with the Model 3 is that minimalism is just better. I'm not looking for buttons all over the place. People say, oh, my wife worried. My wife drove the car recently for the first time. She had her own car, but she's, wanted her to drive the Tesla just to make sure she was happy with it. And she was like, oh, I didn't want to drive it because I was worried I was having to keep touching the screen all the time. It's just like any car. You generally don't change anything. You set the air conditioning how you want it. You've got the seat position how you want it. So you never really need to look at the screen again. You can just look outside. If you're driving to work, you don't really care. You don't need to look at the navigation, do you? So I think the system that Tesla have got, whereas having minimalism, single screen, few other buttons just for priorities, is much better than what Porsche have done, which is where they've got lots of stuff inside. And I don't know, my brother's got an I-Pace, I mentioned it. I went in there, it's a lovely car, absolutely lovely. Two things that really kill it for me. One is the range is terrible. It uses twice as much electricity as the Tesla to get anywhere. And secondly, the stereo system, the management system, all the buttons and everything are just a convoluted nightmare. I mean, really, really just spoil it for me. I think they probably use a similar system to the Range Rover as well, but it was just like, what? I was driving down, we went to Nottingham to look at a Ferrari launch, and he was driving and I was trying to find out how to use the screen, and it was like, well, this is ridiculous. The e-tron's really nice. I really like it. A friend of mine's going to get one of those. I did look at it and there were really good discounts on those as well. Still are 10% discount, easy to achieve. If I was looking for an SUV, yeah, I'd definitely consider it. But again, the range and the supercharger network. Okay, so looking at the current range of cars available, and there are, I'm not discounting things like the Hyundai Kona and the Kia e-Niro, which are fantastic cars. I can't see anything at the moment that is better than the Tesla Model 3. My opinion, obviously, if you need an SUV, and lots of people love SUVs, and I quite like them, but I wouldn't, say discount a saloon. Obviously, I've bought one. If you need an SUV, then you're probably going to have to wait for the Model Y. But otherwise, I can't see any reason, if you're looking for an electric vehicle and you've got about 40 grand to spend, that you wouldn't buy a Model 3. So which Model 3 should you get? Well, when I got mine, it was like, ooh, shall I get the SR? Shall I get the LR? Shall I get the Performance? I sort of discounted the Performance because, to be honest, they're all pretty fast. And the Performance is a fantastic car. I thought about the LR because I thought the longer range would be good. But since I got the SR, there's not a single day gone by where I've thought, oh, I really wish I'd bought the LR. The supercharging network is one thing that makes that fantastic. Plus, the SR is just more efficient than the other models. So although there seems to be an apparent difference in range, I think it's probably more compressed than you might think. So, to be honest, if you're worried that the SR Plus probably won't do for you, if you're driving less than, say, 750 miles every day, I can't see why the SR Plus wouldn't work for you. Unless you're maybe you're driving up and down the centre of Wales 6 times a day. Okay, because there's not much in the way of supercharging network there at the moment. So if I was buying again, I would absolutely, definitely, with much more confidence now, just go for another SR. Sure, I'd love a performance, 0 to 60 in whatever it is, 3 seconds or something. It's fantastic, but to be honest, I always drive the SR Plus in chill mode, and it still beats anything else away from the likes without trying. So. The other thing about obviously buying an EV, and you should buy an EV. If you are a company car driver, you should buy an EV. Okay, there are so many tax advantages, both for you as an employee and if you're a director or if you own the company, that it's an absolute no-brainer that you should buy an EV. Even if you don't care less about the environment, even if you think this whole idea of global warming is a complete con, which I don't, I do want to look after the planet as much as possible, then really, really just get yourself an EV. If you're a private buyer, it's a different thing because obviously they're quite expensive to buy in the first place, and you've got to look at your mileage. If you're doing a lot of miles, then an EV will save you money. It's easy to save 200 quid a month buying an EV, especially if it's something like a Tesla. But I do understand that a £40,000 car isn't for everybody, but the more people that buy new EVs, it's great for personal buyers because later on they get the chance of getting the second-hand ones. So, the fact that the governments have given all these tax advantages to company car buyers is fantastic for those of us who like to buy second-hand cars down the line, because we'll be able to take advantage when there's a lot more to choose from. So really, I've done 7,000 miles in the last year. I would have done more, but obviously the lockdown restricted it, and we had other cars and I wanted to use the miles on those as much as possible. Absolutely love the car. I've had some fantastic cars, Ferraris, a series of Audis, Jaguars, Mercedes, BMWs, various things. I can't remember how many cars I've had. I would say I've had over 100. I would say as an all-round car, the Tesla Model 3 is one of the best cars I've had, if not the best car I've had. Previously, I would have said the best car I've had as an all-round car was my Audi A8, which was absolutely fantastic and a lovely car. Now, I would take the Tesla Model 3 over that anytime. Okay, well, sorry it's been a long time. Thanks very much for watching these videos. I really appreciate very much the referral codes my referral code that you've been using, the referrals I've been getting. I may do another video. This may be my last video, but to be honest, if you've got any questions or you can think of any subjects you want me to do a video on, I'm quite happy to do them. I've had a lot of health issues in the last year as well, which I won't go into, but I'm relatively fit and well for my age. Feel free to ask away. If you want me to try something, I'll do it. All right, stay safe, guys. Be sensible and go out and buy a Tesla. It makes sense.